接我们去哪里？
我要带你去访问自闭症的专家。
Let's go.
Let's go. 对对对对对对对。
今天我们很荣幸的邀请 Chris 来做我们的这一集的嘉宾，他是在 Autism 是专家啦，所以我们今天很荣幸能把他带到来我们这里。我们有请 Chris， 耶！
Hi Chris, do you like to introduce yourself?
Alright, so I'm Christopher. I manage a company called Cheeky Kids. So Cheeky Kids basically attends mostly to individuals with autism, with children with autism, with ADHD and other spectrums of special needs.
Where is it located?
So currently we are located here in Sri Petaling, but then as of now we do a lot of home-based services. So location can range from Putrajaya, Dengkil, Kajang.
So you do provide home visit?
Yes, we do home services like home therapy.
Like
yes.
As long as within Klang Valley?
Yes, within Klang Valley.
What is Autism Spectrum?
Autism Spectrum Disorder is a complex developmental condition that involves persistent challenges in social interactions, speech and non-verbal communication, and restricted repetitive behaviors.
So how many types of it? As we know, there are a few types under this kind of disorder, right?
Correct. 5 types under the spectrum lah.
So which is commonly see among the kids or how?
Not to say see among the kids, but I would say it's being categorized differently because back then most psychologists would refer categories from the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, DSM. So under as of now, I think the current version that they're using is DSM-5 or DSM-V, Roman number. But the previous version, they are the ones that categorize autism into 5 types. So the 5 types are Asperger's, Rett's, Childhood Disintegrative Disorder, Turner Syndrome, and Pervasive Developmental Disorder, NOS.
What are the differences?
Yeah, what are the difference?
Okay, basically the difference, why it's being categorized for 5 is because it's the minor differences. Basically autism, right, it's being described more on the behavior, more on the social aspect. Let's say, for example, Asperger's. Asperger's is also more towards social communication, understanding, all that, difficulty in expressing emotions. So Asperger's now is categorized as level 1 autism spectrum disorder. Why? It is because most of the Asperger's individual, they are still able to learn and survive independently like any neurotypical individuals. So for example, if we want to talk about, let's say, childhood disintegrative disorder or even Rett syndrome, the symptoms, I would say most of it are similar to autism, but then there are other difficulties that these individuals face. For example, more severe motor movement, really, or difficulty in terms of like walking and all that. So the physical aspects that differentiate them under category of autism.
Based on different difficulties that they face or challenges, so they are categorized under different types.
Yes.
As a parent, right? How do we
Okay,
detect?
so basically the early signs of the autism spectrum disorder that a parent should look at is basically one of the main things is eye contact. Difficulty in terms of looking adult or caregiver in the eye, and also playing style. So let's say the child, he take a car and then he's like flying the car around, or there is a repetitive playing style. He take any sort of toy, he will just either knock or like to just play with the wheel of the car, or maybe like to just throw things, or maybe don't understand how to play pretend, how to role play. Most of the time, the social aspect is they don't like to hang out with other kids. They always prefer to be alone. And then one of the main things that you can see also is very aversive to routine changes. Routine changes including of like food, or even in terms of time. Let's say the parent is rushing to work. The kid has to shower a little more quickly. Small act itself is a big deal for the child, and the child cannot deal with it.
Well, but that sounds like my daughter, man. Quite hard for parents to detect the early sign because, like, for example, now it's COVID, right? So my daughter hardly even go out, so she actually cannot slightly faster. We do things slightly early, we change the schedule a little bit. She's quite hard to adapt to it, yeah. And then when she go out to meet new people, she'll be afraid. So I'm not sure. Like,
I see. Because most of the kids that I done in therapy, right, especially during MCO, I would say the kids and parents alike lah, they suffer a lot because huge routine change. Number one, they don't get to go to either their daycare, their school or anything, and the fact that suddenly why mommy is at home. Most of the time it's like, oh, mommy will place me in this room, or mommy will send me to a center, I can meet with my teacher, I can meet with my friends and things like that. So these routine changes actually have a huge impact on these children because they cannot comprehend what's going on.
Okay, so I have questions. Like, speaking about the interactions, right? Will there also less interactions with the parents? Yeah.
They will try to avoid because eye contact seems to be a very, very difficult thing for them to do. Yes. For us, we do train eye contact as well. Eye contact happens when an individual likes something, regardless an item or a human. Let's say if I'm attracted to an item, I'll just keep looking at the item because it's attractive to me. Most of the time when, let's say our therapists were to do therapy with other children, right, and eye contact is a challenge for that particular child. So what we do is taking something they like, and then we put near our eyes. Okay, so basically come and look, encouraging, motivating them to actually, oh, okay, this is how you can interact by looking. So the moment they look, we would actually give them a reward.
What do we need to do when we know that our child is diagnosed with autism?
First, as a parent, the moment you get your child diagnosed already, there's a report there. So first things first, seek out various therapies that are available in your area. There are speech therapies, there are occupational therapies, play therapy, hippotherapy, sensory integration therapy, and behavior therapy. So all these therapies will help in different aspects on where the child is weak at. Okay, the next one would be, as a parent, I think first have to be very, very patient. Yes, be very patient, be observant. Even though the child is being diagnosed as autism under ASD, that doesn't mean that the child cannot learn. Just that the child learns differently. Most of the time, I always tell other parents is all the things that we do is all the targets that we want the child to learn are the same thing that we want to learn back then as a child. Just that the journey of learning is different. Yeah, it may take longer, it may take shorter, it may take a totally different path. But then in the end of the day, what we want is to actually help them to learn how they actually learn best.
It's like I think more to discover their talents and help them to establish it.
I won't say talents per se, but then I would just say that identify their strength and weakness so that it is easier for the parent to actually guide them, use their strength to help over their weakness.
Okay, but I do have another question actually.
Sure.
It's like before even we seek for help, right? So let's say you are telling me, you're a doctor, you're telling me that, oh, my son is autistic. So I cannot believe, I cannot accept.
Yep.
I want some data or some specialist, or is there a doctor that I can bring my child, to see the doctor and to do some tests or something?
For me, I have a personal take on this because usually diagnosis helps a lot to make things clear. As just an educator point of view, we cannot straight away tell the parent that your child is autistic, without any given reports or anything. Yeah. So, but then what we can do is be honest and say that your child maybe have difficulty learning in
and
this aspect.
Showing these kind of symptoms.
Yes, they are showing these behaviors and things like that. Maybe eye contact is slightly weaker on that sense. Okay, in the end of the day, it is up to the parent to take action. What kind of approaches? Professional approach or personal approach to actually help the child? Because you already know the child is like that.
That's why I said before, when your child diagnosed with the ASD, actually parents is the one who really need help.
Yes.
Yes.
Because they are the one who need to overcome all the things. They have to need time to adapt it, need time to learn, need time to accept everything.
Correct. As a parent also, the moment you know your child is diagnosed, give yourself time to absorb all the information needed in terms of treatment or approach. No point pondering over, oh no, this child has difficulty. If he has difficulty, it's okay. Always change the way on your approach and see whether this way can actually help or not. Because even though the behavior comes out difficult, there is always more than one way to tackle that behavior.
So, any tips for parenting a children with autism?
I would say identify the positive and negative. Always understand the positive side of your child, and then always find out the negative sides of your child. Always understand your child as another individual, because autism or not, everyone has their own personality.
Yes.
I would just say autism is not a disability, it's more towards a social difficulty. Personal tip for parents is discipline. Discipline. Why discipline? When most parents hear discipline, right? Discipline is always about scolding. Sometimes traditional method, caning. Discipline in a sense of setting barriers. Setting barriers between the parent and the child. Okay, so for example, there are parents that come to me and tell me, my child were to act this way, or go to mall, like to shout, like to lie down, like to like to take toy throw because he want the toy and things like that. But never mind lah, because I understand he's difficult. Yes, the behavior is difficult, but these behaviors are there to actually make the parent angry. You see, you as a parent, you know that your child is capable of acting more appropriate. You see, I'm not saying that the child has difficulty acting appropriate. As the parent, maybe by default, the child knows how to act appropriate at home. Just that in the mall, he just takes opportunity and just show a behavior. Just so the parent will be like, oh no, everyone's looking, and then I have to give way first, just to soothe, just to calm the situation down. But then yet again, discipline in this sense is drawing a certain limit. No means no. No means no. But then of course you yourself need to know whether is me doing that will serve the child's own good or not. Children in general, I don't want to put children autism or children in general, they are very, very smart in taking advantages on these kind of small
It's
things.
their nature.
Yes. I won't say children also. We also.
Yeah, we will.
The moment we adults as well, the moment we see a loophole, it's too good to be true. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that and see whether my friend reacts this way or not. And the moment my friend reacts this way,
It seems okay.
it seems okay. Why not I do the second time?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that applies the same for the child as well to the parent. So every time the child screams, the parent's like, never mind. So the child can always scream forever, never mind. No? So that is the part where I want to make it clear for parents, where if that behavior makes you angry, find out the reason why you are angry, and then always set a limit. You can always scream at home. You want to scream in the room. But then let's say if the child is hungry and scream, that one different case. But if the child wants a toy, then scream in the mall, then no means no, because the child maybe the child already has more than enough toy already. You know that the child, you have 5 of these, but why you still want again? Go back and play. No means no. So that is the discipline I'm trying to express.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
the sharing.
Welcome.
This is what we have today from Chris, and we hope that next time we have another chance
to interview him again.
Yeah, get another sharing. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment in our comments area. So we will gather all the questions and we throw back to Chris.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank
Alright,
you.
thank you.
Thanks.